And good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Virtual Weight and Fat Loss Summit. I am Walter Lewis, your fitness coach, and today we have psychologist Dr. Anna Eng, and the topic she will be discussing today is mindfulness-based stress management and relaxation training. Welcome, Anna.
Thank you so much, Walter. It is so nice to meet all of you, and I hope that you all find this helpful. So today I'm going to be talking about mindfulness-based stress management and relaxation training, which is so important for meeting your weight and fat loss goals and your fitness goals, especially if you're a busy professional, since it is so hard to kind of fit everything in our busy lives. And I'm sure that you've struggled with stress management from at some point in your life, so it is so important to do this. So first, let's go through what is stress and how stress affects everybody, and then we'll get into what mindfulness is and then how mindfulness-based strategies can really help in managing stress. Okay, so stress is really how the brain and body respond to any demand. It's the body's reaction to any change that requires an adjustment or any sort of response. The body reacts to these changes with physical, mental, and emotional responses. It's a normal part of life, and you can experience stress from your environment, from your body, from anything, and it can be, when you feel like you don't have enough resources to sort of manage the demands that you have. But stress can also be good too. So it's not all bad. So like buying a new house, having a new baby, having a new mortgage, that all can be stressful too. But we a lot of times associate stress with negative things.
Right.
So yeah, so like what should you know about stress? It impacts everybody. No one's immune to it. Everybody experiences stress. Even Walter and myself do as well. Isn't that right?
That's correct.
Yeah. So everybody, no one's immune to it. So that's why it's so important for everybody to know and understand what it is, and also how to manage it. And long-term stress, though, is bad for your health. So when we are under stress, for a long period of time, and we don't manage it well or don't deal with it well, it can lead to a lot of serious health problems like heart disease and other sort of like reproductive issues, sleep, digestive, all sorts of different things that can be really problematic, down the line if it's not managed well for a while. Different people also experience stress in different ways as well. So for instance, some people experience mainly digestive symptoms, while others have headaches, others have sleeplessness, sadness, anger, irritability. So people under chronic stress are prone to more frequent and severe viral infections, such as flu and common cold. So if you don't want to have flu or common cold, or you want to be able to avoid it better, then managing your stress is also helpful for that. Routine stress may be the hardest type of stress to notice at first because the source of stress tends to be more constant. In cases of acute or traumatic stress, the body gets no clear signal to return to normal functioning. So it's important to understand how that works in your body. How does it impact your weight loss and fitness goals? When you're stressed, nothing else really matters, right? Not according to your body. If you're trying to lose weight while you're chronically stressed, it's really like trying to run a marathon while giving someone a piggyback ride. Okay, so you might cross the finish line, but it just seems so much harder, right? And it takes so much more effort. When your sympathetic nervous system is stuck on the on mode, so the sympathetic nervous system is what is responsible for your fight, flight, freeze response, like when you're under danger, back in the day, back in our caveman days when we were being attacked by woolly mammoths and we had to really run or like get killed basically, that's kind of what was activated. So in order to kind of tone down our stress response, we really want to activate the parasympathetic nervous system, and we can do that by some of the strategies that I'm going to show you later on. Okay. So stress makes everything seem harder. We only have a finite amount of energy and hours in the day, so there's only like so much time that we have in a day. When we have to deal with a stressful situation or cope with the aftermath of a stressful situation, we really have less time for healthy habits. So we might struggle with sleep, We don't plan our meal. We don't meal plan as well. We skip workouts. And not only is that not good, but it really just adds to our stress. Then we feel more stressed, you
Mm-hmm.
know? So you don't have those tools, like your self-care things, like the meal planning, exercise, and all of that. But then you're just even more and more stressed. So it really just builds and builds on each other. And if we're doing those things, even if we're doing all those things right, like if you're under stress and but you're still going to the gym and you're still eating right, it does make it harder to lose weight still and meet our goals, because stress produces the hormone cortisol, and the cortisol has also been linked to triggering cravings for comfort foods. So it's really, really hard to then resist that donut or the candy bar or the chips, or, you know, whether it's savory or sweet things you're craving. In addition, stress increases insulin levels, which impacts your ability to burn off those comfort foods as well. Okay. When you start to plateau, it's really a good idea to take a step back and see where you are in life, and just see, you know, what changes can we make, how can we like take inventory of what stressors are in our life, and what can we do to sort of you know take a good look at those things and manage those stressors better. Okay. Another way that stress gets in the way of our goals is that stress really erodes self-control. So stress depletes the energy that you would otherwise use to exert self-control. Let's say your boss is being a pain all day and someone offers you a cupcake in the afternoon. It's going to be a lot harder to resist that cupcake if you're under stress, right? It's going to be because you really want to do, you really want to do everything it takes to feel better.
Right. And that's a temporary sabotage, feeling better.
It's a temporary, you just really want to feel better in that very moment. And even if it's just for that temporary, like, feel good or getting that little rush of pleasure from eating that cupcake, you're going to do it. You're going to have less self-control if you're under stress, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. So when you're chronically stressed, your self-control will repeatedly come under fire from any number of sort of like everyday things like traffic, spilled coffee, crossed signals over school pickup, like, you know, any number of things. You might have a harder time managing those things that are sort of like everyday, like day-to-day things, than you would if you managed your stress a little bit better. So then let's kind of let's move on now to mindfulness, okay, and talk about what that is and how that can help us in managing our stress levels. Okay.
All right.
So Walter, do you know what mindfulness is?
Mindfulness is, I'm guessing, it's kind of like being in the moment,
Yeah.
being aware
Yeah.
of the moment, right?
Yeah, exactly. So
Okay.
it's your awareness in the present moment, and having that, it's a moment-to-moment awareness of your experience without judgment, basically, is the definition
Okay.
of mindfulness. And what that does and how that helps us to manage stress is that it really provides that little bit of space, that pause, that moment to stop and not kind of go into autopilot, right? So usually when we're stressed out, we have an automatic response that's already wired within us. There's a way that we always are conditioned, you know, to respond. And so what mindfulness does is it gives us a moment to take a step back and pause. And we don't have to, you know, just act based on autopilot. We can then choose our reaction and be intentional about how we react. Okay, how we respond is really what I should say. How we respond. So it's not an instant reaction. It's like a response that's intentional. So you have a choice. You have control. You know.
Right. Uh-oh.
Yell. You might, you know, get upset. Right.
Okay.
Can
So
you
I
still?
lost you for a second there, Anna. For
Okay.
30 seconds, it froze. The screen froze up. So I
Oh
don't.
no. Okay.
But you're fine now. So I don't know what you said for like the last 20 to 30 seconds.
Okay, so what I was saying was, you know, mindfulness really gives us an ability to just take a pause and then choose our response intentionally,
Yeah.
rather than rather than having a automatic reaction,
Yes.
that we normally would. So for instance, if someone in traffic cut you off, you're trying to get somewhere and someone just like, just is driving recklessly, you might get frustrated, you might get mad, you might,
Right.
and then that just increases your stress level, right? If
Right.
you react that way, but that's automatic, and that a lot of the times people don't even think, and that's kind of where they go.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're being mindful about the situation, then you
Mm-hmm.
you, you just take a moment, you take a step back, and you stop,
Mm-hmm.
and you perceive, you observe what's going on. You're like, okay, I don't need to react in the way that I normally would. I can then choose to remain calm, nothing happened, no one got into an accident, it's fine,
Right.
and so it's just taking that moment to choose a response that's going to not increase the stress level, right?
Right,
And
right. So like you said, so if you respond like in road rage, that's just going you're going to make yourself even more stressful in the situation just
then your heart rate
escalated.
increases, the blood rushes, all
Right.
of that, and you're increasing your stress level. Exactly. But what it does is it gives you that space to choose your response. So that would be in any situation, such as like if someone was starting to pick a fight with you,
Mm-hmm.
rather than automatically responding,
Right.
and matching their like aggressiveness. You don't have to go there. You know what I mean? You,
Right.
you just choose you just choose your own response,
Right.
right?
Right.
So it's just it gives you more control. It really gives you more control in that way. Does that make sense?
That makes a lot of sense. No. So you're observing the situation, you're observing, you're not being reactive. You are
Yeah.
taking a moment and assessing the
Intentionally.
situation.
Yep.
That's being mindful. And then you make the decision on how to proceed.
Exactly, exactly. So you're really right. It's you're not really judging, you're just observing and just
Mhm.
taking in the information, and then you take a moment and then you choose your response.
Makes a lot of
Okay,
sense.
and that's how it can help you. That's how it can help you,
Make
manage
make better decisions too, right?
make better choices that
Yes.
set you up for better situations
Yes,
going
yes.
forward, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So how does it help us to manage stress? So we become more aware of our thoughts, right? And so how that can help us too is, we all have automatic thoughts throughout the day. So if we take inventory of all the thoughts that we have, right,
Mhm.
we can start seeing patterns of the types of thoughts that we have. So for somebody who tends to lean more sort of negative, or we're somebody who tends to lean more like pessimistic, then of course that's going to impact your mood in a way. And of course
Mhm.
it's going to contribute to your stress in a lot of ways too. You
Right.
know, so taking inventory of your thoughts, being more aware of what those are, and then if you want to take it one step further, you could even try to rewrite that narrative of what that thought is and try to put it in a neutral package, and if you want to get more advanced, positive,
Right. Right.
does that make sense?
No, that makes a lot of sense. Makes a
Yeah.
lot of sense.
So now we're getting a little bit further away from mindfulness and more into CBT, but let's bring it back to mindfulness.
All right.
Okay. um, so you don't immediately, like I was saying earlier, you don't immediately react to a situation. Instead, you have a moment to pause, use your wise mind to come up with the best possible solution,
Mhm.
and then move forward in a positive way. And also you're more aware and sensitive to the needs of your body too.
Mhm.
So when we're in a situation that could be distressing or could cause us stress, um, it's so helpful to be able to notice when we're starting to feel stressed, when the stress level is here
Mhm.
rather than when it's up here,
Right.
right?
Right.
And so when it's down here, it's so much easier to bring it down than
Mhm.
like from this level. Just like
Mhm.
with anxiety, just like with any mood, when you're more aware of your own self and your own body and your own reactions, it's you'll start noticing when the stress is it's like slowly
Mhm.
increasing, and not be caught off guard when it's already like up at this
Right.
level.
Right.
Does that make sense?
That makes a lot of sense.
Again,
Because when it's at that level, it's hard to make the adjustment compared to if you're
exactly.
at this level. It's
Yeah.
easier to tone things down, make the adjustment to be calmer or to not be as stressful.
Yeah, that's exactly right. It's
Mhm.
you have much more control, right?
Yes, yes, makes a lot
Exactly.
of sense.
You're also more aware of the emotions of others. So when you're more mindful, you're more aware of other people's experiences and other people's emotions. And as your emotional intelligence rises, you're less likely to get in conflict and less likely to get into situations.
Uh-oh. Are you
Walter, I think I lost you for a second.
okay? Yeah, you did. So the last thing I heard, you said you're less likely to get in a conflict. That's
You're
where.
less likely to get into conflict, right? And then
Uh-huh.
you're also less likely to what was I going to say? I forgot what I said. You're less likely to get into conflict, and then you can also kind of respond better to people
Hmm.
and be able to manage conflict situations with a lot more ease.
Okay, got it.
Okay. Your level when you're mindful, you're also able to be more compassionate to yourself and to others. And so when you take on a more compassionate stance, um, it really helps to, in your ability um, to forgive and to sort of like
Mhm.
let things go a little bit easier,
Right.
more understanding. So that's all really helpful. Mindfulness practice reduces the activity in the part of the brain called the amygdala.
Mhm.
The amygdala is central to switching on your stress response. So your background level of stress is already reduced too when you're more mindful, when you practice that mindfulness more. You're better able to focus. So you complete your work more efficiently and you have a greater sense of well-being. This reduces the stress response as well. You're more likely to get into the zone or the flow. You know what I mean by that?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, of course you do. I know you do.
Yes, yes. So the zone of flow, you're like got some momentum going.
And everything seems
Okay.
more like, like you can do it with a lot more ease,
Ease,
right?
right, right, right.
Yeah, yeah, it's a lot less effortful. You feel like
Yes,
you don't, yeah, you feel like you're getting more sort of like done without as much effort, right?
right. Yeah, you're super productive and efficient. You know.
Productive and efficient,
Yeah,
exactly. Which is
yeah.
always wonderful, isn't it?
Right. Exactly. That's the goal.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, great. So then the last thing too is to keep in mind that when you do this, you can also switch your attitude to stress too. You can be able to look at the ways stress can help you rather than being like afraid of it or thinking it's a bad thing. But really being able to see the functional aspects of it and how stress exists to really help us, make us more productive, energize us to do things differently, kind of light a fire under us to like get things
Mhm.
done, you know what
Right.
I mean? And be able
Exactly.
to be like, oh, okay, so this is stress. Like, all right, well, here's what I can do about it, and it's not all bad, you know?
Right. Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, yeah. So then, switching our attitude to it too is helpful in helping us feel better about it.
Absolutely. So I can definitely relate to that because I'm usually a calm guy. And so
Yeah.
I've had situation where people have, well, I've had clients who've had a really tough day, been stressful, and they tell me about a situation and they're like up to here. And so I'm not talking at their tone. I'm kind of talking in a calmer tone. And because I'm talking in a calmer tone, they start to bring their tone down to mine. And I can see
Exactly.
them starting to calm down a little bit and not be at that
Exactly.
high level of stressful. So, yeah.
Well, that's awesome. And what you just described there is I think it's called matching, and that's like when
Okay.
people like with a certain level of emotional intelligence will
Hmm.
start to match the person they're talking to. So if you're with someone who's like more anxious and like
Uh-huh.
talks fast, then if you're someone who is like more sensitive to other people's energies and stuff, then you might start to pick up on, or more sensitive, then you might pick up on that anxious energy and you might start to talk fast yourself. And the opposite can happen too, just like with what you said. If you're with someone like you, Walter, who's calm and
Right.
just more like relaxed, then like they're able to pick up on your energy, which is fantastic.
Right. Yep.
Yeah. That's great. Do you use any, well, we haven't really gotten into the based practices yet, but we will do that in a second. But do you practice any mindfulness yourself, Walter?
Absolutely do. I would say, like I just gave you the example of the client. I
Yeah.
work with a lot of busy professionals, and so they
Yeah.
get really stressed out about their jobs.
Yeah.
And so depending on their level of energy, um, if they're like really frustrated, talking real loud, and when they do that, I kind of bring them down by talking in a nice, calm tone. Or if they're
Hmm.
frustrated about, I don't understand, I've been working all hard all week, and I didn't come down on the scale. The weight didn't go down. I don't understand what's going on. And they get real
Yeah.
frustrated. And I'll talk calmly. And I was like, well, did you keep a food journal? You haven't turned your food
Yeah.
journal into me yet. And it makes a difference if I'm seeing everything that you're eating. I can make the proper adjustment. And they would
Yeah.
say, oh, well, I guess I didn't do that. I say that's critical to your success. Um,
Yes.
so when I'm engaging, talking to clients, I definitely practice being mindful of how I communicate it to them. I don't bash them and say, oh, you ate terrible this week. That's why you didn't lose the weight. you know? So,
That's perfect. Yeah, that's great that you do that. I'm sure they appreciate that too.
right. And so, yeah, I'm
Yeah.
mindful on how I deal with each situation with the client. Yeah.
Yeah, and in that way, and responding to them in that way, not only does it help them and makes them feel more supported and better, but also it keeps you from stressing yourself out by being frustrated
Exactly.
with how, right?
Right,
Yeah.
right. Because I'm like, they paid
So,
me to help them lose the weight. They're not lose the weight. And so, and I discuss why, but I'd say it in a calm way and a matter of fact way to say, well, this is why. It's not because you're a bad person. It's not because you're a terrible person. I'm not expecting you to be perfect. But this does make a difference. When you don't keep a food journal and you don't stay
mhm,
below the calorie amount, it's going to be difficult for you to lose the weight. Um,
100% exactly. Sounds like, that's all super effective. So that's great. Do you want to get into some mindfulness-based techniques that we can do?
I'm sure we got about, what, 5 minutes left?
Oh, okay. All right.
Okay.
Well, then you know what? We can definitely do we can definitely do one then. And if you want, if another time you want to do some more, I
So,
have a couple options.
so about how long would it take to do two?
Let's see. Well, we could do I could you know what? I could do them quickly, and I don't even have to do the full demonstration. I can
Okay,
just I can just go over, yeah, because we have 5 minutes. So
right.
let's just
And
do
I think I
maybe
could push it to like maybe 8 minutes. I think we're
okay,
good.
okay. Wonderful. Okay, well then here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do deep breathing, which is
Okay,
one of the most powerful things that you can do, that anybody can do,
okay,
to stress. And the wonderful thing about that is you can do that literally anywhere because everybody has to breathe anyway. So, and
right,
you don't need to, go to any special place or use any equipment or whatever. So that's great. And then we can do body scan, which is also good too. And then we're gonna just jump right into a visualization, and I'll let you choose. Would you rather do the beach or the forest?
Hmm. Let's do the beach.
Oh, perfect. That's a good one, and everybody loves that one. So that's a good choice. Great. Okay, so just in the interest of time, I'm not going to spend too much time on the first two because the last one's going to probably take about 3 to 5 minutes. Okay,
Okay, okay.
but I will tell you that breathing, this is good for everybody. And for those of you that have done breathing in yoga, this is similar, but it's a little bit different. This is a little bit more sort of targeted and specific. So when we talk about deep breathing, which is also called abdominal breathing or diaphragmatic breathing, or really, I'm going to turn my camera so you can see, we really want to breathe into our bellies, okay?
Okay.
So a lot of times when people are stressed out, they breathe into their chest.
Mhm.
So Walter, just breathe normal for me right now. Don't do anything different than you normally would do.
Okay.
Put your hand on the part of your body that
Mhm.
seems to rise and fall the most as you breathe normally.
Okay.
Is that your chest or your stomach?
My stomach.
That's perfect. Okay, so everybody, Walter breathes perfectly. Okay, so breathe like Walter. So a lot of times people will breathe into here, into their chest, and when I'm not paying attention, that's where I breathe too.
Okay.
And we take these short, shallow breaths, and that's what we do when we're under stress, or even when we're just, we're just kind of conditioned to do that. But when we want to relax ourselves, we really want to breathe into our bellies, into our stomach.
Okay.
Okay, so everybody people that are watching this, just put your hands on your bellies and take nice, long, deep breaths in through your nose and then exhale through your mouth. Okay, so in through your nose and exhale through your mouth, making sure that your belly rises and falls with each breath. And you can let your chest gently follow, but you really want to breathe right into your belly and fill up your lungs and your belly with air. Breathe into your nose and push it all out through your mouth. In through your nose, out through your mouth, and then just focus on your breathing. Just turn your attention there. And if there are any other thoughts that come into your mind, just gently let them go and bring your thoughts back to your breathing. Okay? Now, once you've got the breathing down, just do a simple count of 4 for your in breath and then 4 for your out breath. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4 in, and then it's going to be 4, 3, 2, 1 out. Okay, and just focus on the breathing. How do you feel, Walter?
I feel relaxed.
You feel relaxed?
Yes,
Good.
actually,
Good.
I usually practice the deep breathing in the morning, so I do a little morning meditation for a couple of
That's
minutes each
perfect.
day. Yep.
Do you do a count or do you just do like free form?
Usually, when I first started doing it, I was doing a count for about
Was
four or
it the
five
same
seconds.
count that we just did?
I was doing it for about 4 or 5 seconds, but now I just kind of do it freely. Actually, I use my Fitbit watch, and
Oh, great.
it goes for 2 minutes, and so I just inhale.
Wonderful. There are
Yeah.
so many variations of breathing techniques too. So if another time anybody wants to go over those, we can do that. But so that's basically it for, I mean, that's, I guess, what we have time for today
Okay.
in terms of breathing.
Yes.
And then do we have time to do the body scan and the visualization, or do we need to
Okay. No,
sort of?
let's go for it. Let's go for it.
Okay, wonderful. Okay, wonderful. So, so Walter, have you ever done anything called body scan?
I don't think I have.
Okay, so you're gonna do this with me, okay?
Okay.
I want to walk you through it, okay? So then
All right.
everybody knows how to do it. All right, so just sit comfortably on your chair or your couch with your feet
Mhm.
flat on the floor,
Okay.
and yeah, just get comfortable. And you can either close your eyes or simply fix your gaze on a
Mhm.
spot on the floor, and
Okay.
then go back to your breathing like we were just doing the deep breathing.
Mhm.
And then starting at your feet, just bring your awareness and your attention to your feet
Mhm.
and slowly scan up the front of your legs. So from your shins up to your knees, up to your thighs. If there are any areas of your legs, the front of your legs that have any tension or tightness, just see if you can breathe into those areas and release that tension. And now bring your awareness then up your hips and up your belly, your chest, the front of your arms, the front of your hands, up to your shoulders, up to the front of your neck, the front of your face, and now up your face, up to the top of your head. Any areas that you notice any tension or tightness, just release the tension and breathe into that area. Now scanning up to the top of your head, now to the back of your head, back of your neck, back of your shoulders, and the top of your shoulders, back of your shoulders. Any of those areas holding any tension or tightness. See if you can release that tension and let those areas soften. Now down to your mid back and low back. Now down the back of your arms. Now to your bottom, the back of your legs, back of your calves, down to your feet. Any areas that are holding any tightness or tension, just see if you can release that tension or tightness and breathe into those areas. Now, do one more scan up and down your body. And if there are any areas of your body that's holding any tension or tightness, just see if you can let that tightness go and you can release that, breathing into those areas. And when you're done, you can slowly open your eyes and finish this exercise. What do you think about that?
Awesome. So I take it back. I did do something similar to, I got
Did.
the body scan. What I would do, what I've done in the past, I would tense
Yeah.
up my cheeks and
Uh-huh.
move down to my shoulders, to my chest, to my
Yes.
abs, hips, waist, legs. So I would squeeze it, squeeze out the
Yeah.
tension down to my
You
feet.
can totally do that too. That's like progressive muscle relaxation.
Yes. Okay. I guess
Yes.
that's what I've done.
And that is a variation of what we just did, as you said,
Okay.
right? And
Okay.
so you can definitely do it that way too. So you can clench and
Yes.
then release, right? It's like tense and then relax,
Yeah.
right? So you can do that for all your muscle groups as well. And
Yes.
that also sends a relaxation response.
Okay. So
Okay.
that was awesome.
That's
That was
great,
awesome.
right?
Yes.
And do we want to do one visualization or do we not have, are we out of
So how
time?
long will it be?
Oh, okay. It probably is going to be 3 to 5 minutes.
3 to 5 minutes. Can you do it for 3 minutes?
Yes, I can. I'll just do it quick, okay?
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Let's
So
go.
one other thing that we can do to relax is to bring ourselves to a different place in our mind, right? And to kind of remove ourselves from the situation of where, just to create that pause, just to create that little bit of space in between, like what's happening in your life, and then how we're going to respond or react. So to take that little bit of break, we can kind of take ourselves somewhere else using our five senses in our mind. And let me just show you how to do that, okay?
Mhm.
So now, Walter, I want you to close your eyes one more time, okay?
Okay.
All right. For a few moments, just allow yourself to take several nice, long, deep breaths. Notice the cool air coming in, filling your lungs, and the soothing, warm air going out. And just let all your thoughts float away as you bring your attention to your breathing in and out. You might mentally scan your body and notice if you're holding any tension in your muscles. If you are, just gently let all that tension melt away with each breath. And bring your attention to your breathing. In your mind's eye, you see yourself descending down a long, narrow wooden stairway towards a beautiful, inviting beach. Your bare feet feel the rough leather steps, and with each step, you feel more and more tension gently melting away from your body. As you continue down the stairway, you notice how the bright white sand stretches down the shoreline as far as you can see. The ocean is a deep shade of blue with the fine white crests of waves sweeping towards the shore. You reach the end of the stairway and you step down, sinking into the warm, soothing sand. As you rub the sand lightly between your toes, a soothing sensation of relaxation gently melts throughout your entire body. The roaring sound of the sea surf, the waves crashing over each other, calms your mind and allows you to feel even more relaxed. You begin walking slowly towards the edge of the water and you notice the warm sun on your face and shoulders. The salty smell of the sea air invigorates you and you take in a deep breath. You breathe slowly out and more feelings of relaxation, refresh feelings sweep over you. Finally, you reach the water's edge and you gladly invite the waves to flow over your toes and your ankles. You watch the waves glide smoothly towards you, gently sweeping around your feet, and the trails of seawater that flow slowly back out again. The cool water feels soft and comforting as you enjoy a few moments, allowing yourself to gaze out on the far-reaching horizon. Overhead, you notice two seagulls gracefully soaring high above the ocean waters, and you can hear their soft cries becoming faint as they glide away. All of these sights, sounds, and sensations allow you to let go and relax even more. As you continue your leisurely walk down the beach, you notice a colorful beach chair resting in a nice, peaceful spot where the powdery, soft sand lies undisturbed. You approach this comfortable-looking beach chair and you sit down, you lie back, and you settle in. You take in a long, deep breath, breathe slowly out, and feel even more relaxed and comfortable resting in your chair. for a few moments more. Let yourself enjoy the sights and sounds of this beautiful day at the beach. And when you feel ready, you can gently bring your attention back to the room, still letting yourself feel nice and comfortable sitting where you are. What do you think?
Very relaxing, very relaxing.
Yeah. So you can bring yourself to the beach using your five senses, feeling as though you actually have the sensation of the sun's rays on your skin. You're smelling the salty air. You're hearing the seagulls. You're feeling the sand beneath your feet, and you're really like sort of tasting that salty air. You know what I mean?
Yes, so that was awesome,
Good.
Dr. Ng. So we're out of time. Went over just a little bit because it'll shut off on me if I don't stop it.
Okay.
But great presentation, and I know many of my folks who are busy professional who are highly stressed will use the tips that you gave, the data visualization, the breathing exercise, and the other one we went over was
Body scan.
the body scan. Oh yeah, great
Yeah.
exercises. So anyway, so if someone wanted to find more information about you, where can they find you, Dr. Anna?
You can just get onto the website www.delraypsych.com. That's DELRAYPSYCH.com. Or you could send me an email, Dr. Eng, DRENG, at delraypsych.com as
Uh,
well.
Awesome. Well, Dr. Ng, thank you for your time. And like I said, this information was definitely helpful. I feel like I can just go take a nap right now because I feel so relaxed. So anyway,
Well,
thanks again, and we'll talk
of
soon.
course. We'll talk soon. Thank you, Walter, and good luck, everybody. And thank you so much for including me on this panel. I appreciate it.
Awesome.